evening. Thank you all so much for joining us for VIVUM 21's first streamed event, our drama competition. This year, all of our entries have slithered into our hearts with their dramatic performances and comedic and captured our souls with their comedic performances equivalent to those of Monty Python.
Okay, can we please stop with all these snake puns? Anyways, moving on. I would like to introduce to you our judge for the evening. Introducing to you Mr. Samir Stewart.
Hello students, my name is Samir Stewart. I'm currently based in Bangalore, India. I thank you very much for this opportunity to have adjudicated or played a significant part in the adjudication of your performances. They were absolutely brilliant. Congratulations to all of you. You are all winners in my eyes. As a little bit about my background, I've done a lot of acting in Bangalore as well as in the US in the past. A lot of it has been theater. I do have a significant movie credit to my name as well. I guess an independent film based out of Washington, shot entirely in Hindi, called 9/11. I had a lead role there. And I love acting, I love seeing performance, and I wish all of you all the very best for this competition. May the best individual win, and may the best team win the Snake Spear competition as well. All the best. Take care.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stewart. We appreciate your time. No? That didn't work either? Okay, perfect. Before we move along, we would like to take time to showcase this year's amazing merchandise, which we are right now wearing. This t-shirt is available with, this is a limited edition t-shirt, which is also available with other merchandise on our VIVUM website, shop.vivum21.com. So please buy it now.
Now hear this, Willie. This is me. You know why I had no address for 3 months? I stole a suit in Kansas City and was in jail. I stole myself out of every good job since high school. And I never got anywhere because you blew me so full of hot air that I couldn't stand taking orders from anybody. That's whose fault it is. I was supposed to be Boss Big Shot in 2 weeks, and I'm through with it. I ran down 11 flights with a pen in hand today, and suddenly, I stopped. You hear me? And in the middle of that office building, I saw the things I loved in this world. The walk, the food, the time to sit and smoke. And I looked at the pen in hand and thought to myself, what the hell am I doing grabbing this? Why am I trying to become what I don't want to be? What am I doing in this office making a contemptuous, begging fool of myself when all I want is out there, waiting for me the minute I say I know who I am? Why can't I say that, Willie? Bob, I'm a dime a dozen, and so are you. I'm not a leader of men, and neither are you. You were just a hard-working drummer who landed in this ash can like all the rest of them. I'm $1 an hour, Bob. Do you gather my meaning? I'm not bringing them home, Bob. I'm nothing. Can't you understand that? There's no spite in it anymore. I'm just what I am. That's all. Will you please let me go, for Christ's sake? Will you take that phony dream and burn it before something happens?
This was just a glimpse of what we hold for you. Our first event, Serpentine Soliloquies. This monologue event is an event that shall delight all of you. Believe me, this event has so many competitors' entries and we are proud of them. So, without any further ado, let us get started and see the highlights for the competition.
But before we do that, we would like to inform you that the polls for this competition is wide open. Please start voting for all your participants that you want to support. Your votes will be counted in the Viewer's Choice Award. Please, participants, make sure that you know that these awards, these votes will not make any difference to the judges' results. Anyway, now we will move on to the first few performances.
I wish I was more like you. Like you. You're so, well, you seem so clear about things, whereas I'm so, I can never quite say what I am. Even to myself, I'm so inarticulate. You know, some nights I lay awake and I go through the things I've said confidently, the things I've said confidently, and they fall to pieces. And where there were once words, there's now this feeling of impossibility, like there's no way through it. I've felt this way before, when I was very small. The same feeling, not a childish feeling. Well, maybe, but it was sort of. I saw it in my head as a jungle around me, surrounding me, and something organic, something alive, and the only thing that kept me here was that picture of Honor and Gus. Silly, I know, because I'm an adult now. I'm old now. I shouldn't be remembering these things. Things like lying on my bed, knowing that they're outside my room, surrounded by their warmth. You know, they had a certain charm to them. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe things weren't as simple as it seemed, but from what I can remember, they were always surrounded by so much love for each other, and within that love, I felt loved. I felt loved. But now that I've gotten older, I don't feel that anymore, and it just feels as though everything that once saved me has now fallen from me. You know, I'm not a kid anymore. No, I'm not a kid anymore. But I still need. I still need. Sorry. I just wish I was more like you. Like you.
Now hear this, Willie. This is me. You know why I haven't had an address for the past 3 months? I stole a suit in Kansas City and I was in jail. I stole myself out of every good job that I had in school. I never got anywhere. But you blew me up. So much hot air that I couldn't stand taking orders from anyone. That's whose fault this is. You wanted me to become Boss Big Shot in 2 weeks, but I can't. I'm through with it. I'm through with it. I climbed down 11 flights today with a pen in my hand, And I just paused. I just looked at the things that I loved. The sky, the people, the food, the work, the time to sit and smoke. And I asked myself, why the hell am I holding this pen? Why am I in this office making a contemptuous, begging fool of myself when what I want is out there, waiting for me the minute I say who I am, the minute I say I know who I am? Pop, I'm a dime a dozen, and so are you. I'm no leader of men, and neither are you, but you weren't ever anything. You were just a hard-working drummer that ended up in the ash can like the rest of them all. And I'm $1 an hour, Pop. Yep, I'm $1 an hour. Can't you understand? I'm not bringing it home, Pop. I'm nothing. I'm nothing, Pop. There's no spite in this. It's just what I am. I'm nothing. Nothing. For Christ's sake, Pop, can you please let me go? Can you take this phony dream of yours and burn it? Burn it for something happens.
Well, Tommy has proposed again. Tommy really does nothing but propose to me. He proposed to me last night in the music room where I was quite unprotected as there was an elaborate trio going on. I didn't dare make the smallest repartee. I need hardly tell you. If I had, it would have stopped the music at once. Musical people are so absurdly unreasonable. They always want one to be perfectly dumb at the very moment one is longing to be absolutely deaf. Then he proposed to me in broad daylight this morning in front of that dreadful statue of Achilles. Really, the things that go on in front of that work of art are quite appalling. The police should interfere. At luncheon, I saw by the glare in his eye that he was going to propose again, and I just managed to check him in time by assuring him that I was a bimetallist. Fortunately, I don't know what bimetallism means. I don't believe anybody else does either, but the observation crushed Tommy for 10 minutes. He looked quite shocked. And then Tommy is so annoying in the way that he proposes. If he proposed at the top of his voice, I should not mind so much. That might produce some effect on the public. But he does it in this horrid, confidential way. And when Tommy wants to be romantic, he talks to one just like a doctor. I am very fond of Tommy. But his methods of proposing are quite out of date. I wish, Gertrude, that you would speak to him and tell him that once a week is quite enough to propose to anyone, and that it should always be done in a manner that attracts some attention.
Now hear this, Willie. This is me. You know why I had no address for 3 months? Hmm? I stole a suit from Kansas City and I was in jail. I stole myself out of every good job since high school. And I could never get anywhere because you blew me so full of hot air that I could never stand taking orders from anybody. And that's whose fault it is. You know, I had to be boss big shot in 2 weeks? And now I'm through with it. Really, I ran down 11 flights with a pen in my hand today. And suddenly I stopped. You hear me? And in the middle of that office building, I saw the things that I loved in this world. The work and the food and the time to sit and smoke. And I looked at this pen and said to myself, what the hell am I grabbing this for? Why am I trying to become something that I don't want to be? What am I doing in an office, making a contemptuous, begging fool of myself when all that I want is out there, waiting for me the minute I say I know who I am? Now, why can't I say that, Willie? Pop, I'm a dime a dozen, and so are you. I'm not a leader of men, Willie, and neither are you. You were never anything but a hard-working drummer who landed in the ash can like all the rest of them. I'm $1 an hour, Willie, and don't you gather my meaning? I'm not bringing it home anymore. Pop, I'm nothing. I'm nothing, Pop. Don't you understand that? There is no spite in it anymore. I'm just what I am, that's all. I'm just what I am, that's all. Will you let me go, for Christ's sake? Will you take that phony dream of yours and burn it before something happens?
I would like to call upon the leniency of the jury. Not because I didn't know what I was doing, please. I knew exactly what I was doing. Although, please keep in mind that I didn't actually kill Dave. I didn't shoot at anyone or anything. I just helped with the kidnapping. Okay, that may make me an accessory to murder, but like a minor accessory. And what's a minor accessory? What's a minor accessory? Like a beret. Okay, fine, it's true. I did help keep him hostage. But I had a good reason for all my actions. Revenge. Revenge is, I believe, a good reason to do things. Okay, it may get you arrested, but my hope is that you, my peers, will understand and appreciate the importance of revenge and will thus be lenient with me. Because, at the end of the day, all of my actions were motivated by revenge. When you take away a man's ability to support himself, don't you expect him to fight back? And so I did. Murder may have been a bit too strong a way to fight back, yes, but my hope is that you will understand my impulses, if not the severity of my actions. Thank you. Also, to anyone out there who's trying to copycat me and kidnap CEOs, I would not do that. I don't think that is a good idea, despite the manifesto I wrote saying it was a good idea. I do not believe in that manifesto any longer. I am penitent and aware of the errors I have made in the past, but I was trapped. The system is against us. That much is clear. It is against you whether or not you break the law. It's just against you. And I think this is bad for a system. Thank you. Also, please be lenient. Cool? Thanks. Please be lenient. Please? Well, leniency. Thank you. Cool.
Now hear this, Willie. This is me. You know why I had no address for 3 months? 3 whole months? I stole a suit in Kansas City and I was in jail. I stole myself out of every good job since high school because you blew me so full of hot air I could never stand taking orders from anybody else. That's whose fault it is, and it's about goddamn time you have heard it. I had to be boss big shot in 2 weeks, and I'm through with it. I ran down 11 flights of stairs with a pen in my hand today, and suddenly I stopped. In the middle of that, do you hear me? In the middle of that office building, I saw those things that I love in this world. The food, the work, and the time to sit and smoke. I looked at the pen and said to myself, what the hell am I grabbing this for? Why am I trying to become something that I don't want to be? What am I doing in an office? Making a begging, contemptuous fool of myself. When everything I love is out there, waiting for me. The moment I say that, yeah, I know who I am. Why can't I say that, really? Huh? Why? I'm a dime a dozen. And so are you. I'm not a leader of men, really, and neither are you. You were never anything but just a hard-working drummer who landed in an ash can like all the rest of them. I am $1 an hour. $1 an hour. Do you gather my meaning? I'm not bringing them home. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. Can't you understand that? There is no spite in it anymore. I am what I am, that's all. Will you let me go? For Christ's sake. Will you take that pony dream of yours and point it before something happens?
Wow, those performances were just amazing.
I totally agree. I mean, can you imagine sitting in your own house to do something like this when usually people do it on stage with costumes, lighting?
Okay, well, let's get started. Thank you so much, Disha Raj from NPSHSR. Thank you, Sunanda Guru Prasad, also from NPSHSR. Pranav Badepudi from Deans. Rucha Upadhyay from Deans. Divyanshu Mitra from NPS Kormangla. Kavya Mundukar from Inventure. And Aditya Rohit from JPIS. Thank you so much, guys. That was an amazing performance, amazing effort, truly, truly remarkable.
And now, just for a little while, we will have an ad break as our sponsors say a few words from Red Rhino, Vaswani Exquisite, and Sony.
Sometimes we make you laugh. Sometimes we make you cry. We make you feel inspired, excited, amazed. Empowered. Alive. Curiosity propels Sony forward. Extraordinary entertainment that moves people's hearts. Groundbreaking electronics that connect people to people. Mobility. Medical and financial services that support people. We honor our past and build for the future. We collaborate with people around the globe to synthesize diverse points of view into a sustainable vision. We harness technology to transform and enrich lives. Sony's purpose: fill the world with emotion through the power of creativity and technology. We are Sony.
Now that we're back, we would like to show you more of our performances.
So excited.
That everyone gets the disease they deserve? Yes, I am interested in it. And I'm particularly interested in the fact that you never hear it from the parents of a child born with its brain hanging out of its head. Karma. What goes around comes around. There is something very nasty hiding in the idea of karma. It's another way of not thinking. People get what they deserve. All bad deeds are accounted for. Really? In my experience, there are great numbers of very bad people leading very happy lives. It's a pretty false comfort, wouldn't you say? To think they'll all get a stint in hell? To think they'll all come back as a piece of dog crap? Surely, the point is what we do now. Who we become and how we behave. To leave all the judgment up to God or the karmic compost. That's a pretty terrible impotence, isn't it? Adults, grown men and women with a dummy in the mouth. Look closely at this, Malcolm. Look at the people who glue themselves to these ideas. For the happy and healthy, these ideas are a way of feeling snug. 50 cents in the poor box and the knowledge that the poor will always be with us. And those who actually suffer, what are they saying? I am suffering because God wants me to? I think of those American slave songs. So uplifting. And I want to be sick. In my training, they take you around the wards. There was a woman. She tried to hold my gaze while the sutures were taken out, until the hospital chaplain came sliding across the lino, and her pale, fierce eyes slid him right back through the curtain. You see, I don't believe that justice is something you light a candle for. It's just the way you behave.
Well, hear this, Willie. This is me. You want to know why I had no address for 3 months? I stole a suit in Kansas City and I was in jail. I stole myself out of every good job since high school because you blew me so full of hot air I couldn't stand taking orders from anybody else. That's whose fault it is. I had to be big boss short in 2 weeks and I'm through with it. I ran down 11 flights of stairs with a pen in my hand yesterday. And suddenly I stopped. I stopped in the middle of the office building. Do you hear that? I stopped. Because I saw everything that I loved in this world. I saw the work and the food and the time to sit and have a smoke. And I looked at the pen and I said to myself, what the hell am I grabbing this for? Why the hell am I trying to become something I don't want to be? Why am I making a contemptuous, begging fool of myself when everything that I want is out there, just waiting for me to say, I know who I am? Why can't I say that, Willie? Boom! I'm a dime a dozen and so are you. I'm not a leader of men. I'm not. And neither are you. You're just a hardworking drummer that lands in the ashcan like the rest of them. I'm $1 an hour. Do you get my meaning? I'm not bringing them home. I'm nothing. Bob, I'm nothing. Can't you understand that? Can't you understand? There's no spite in it anymore. That's all I am. So will you let me go, for Christ's sakes? Will you take that phony dream of yours and burn it? Before something else happens?
Well, Tommy has proposed to me. Again. Tommy really does nothing but propose to me. He proposed to me last night in the music room when I was quite unprotected as there was an elaborate trial going on. I didn't dare make the smallest repartee. I need hardly tell you. If I had, it would have stopped the music at once. But musical people are so absurdly unreasonable. They always want one to be perfectly done at the very moment when one is longing to be absolutely deaf. Then he proposed to me in broad daylight this morning in front of that dreadful statue of Achilles. Really, the things that go on in front of that work of art are quite appalling. The police should interfere. And then, at luncheon, I saw by the glare in his eye that he was going to propose again. And I only just managed to check him in time by assuring him that I was a bimetallist. Fortunately, I don't know what bimetallism means, and I don't believe anybody else does either. But the observation crushed Tommy for 10 minutes. He looked quite shocked. And then Tommy is so annoying in the way that he proposes. If he were to do it at the top of his voice, I should not mind so much. That might have some effect on the public. But he does it in a horrid, confidential way. When Tommy wishes to be romantic, he talks to one just like a doctor. I am very fond of Tommy, but his methods of proposing are quite out of date. I wish, Gertrude, you would talk to him. Tell him that once a week is quite enough to propose to anyone, and that it must always be done in a manner that attracts some attention.
And what is this idea? That everyone gets the disease they deserve? Yes. Yes, I am interested in it. And I'm particularly interested in the fact that you never hear it from the parents of a child born with its brain hanging out of its head. Karma. What goes around comes around. There's something so nasty hiding behind the idea of karma. It's another way of not thinking. People get what they deserve. All bad deeds are accounted for. Really? Well, in my experience, there are a great number of very bad people leading very, very happy lives. It's a pretty false comfort, wouldn't you say? To think they'll all get a stint in hell. To think they'll all come back as pieces of dog crap. Surely, the point is what we do now. Who we become. How we behave. To leave all the judgment up to God or the karmic compost. That's a terrible impotence, isn't it? Adults, grown men and women with a dummy in their mouth. And look closely at this, Malcolm. Look at the people who glue themselves to these ideas. For the happy and healthy, these ideas, they're a way of feeling smug. 50 cents in the poor box and the knowledge that the poor will always remain with us. And those who actually suffer, what are they saying? I'm suffering. I'm suffering because God wants me to. I think of the American slave songs. So uplifting, right? I just want to be sick. In my training, they take you around the wards. There was a woman. Yeah, she tried to hold my gaze while the sutures were taken out until the hospital chaplain came sliding through the lino and her pale, fierce eyes slid him right back through the curtain. You see, I don't believe justice is something you light a candle for. It's just the way that you behave.
Now hear this, Willie. This is me. You know why I had no address for 3 months? I stole a suit in Kansas City and I was in jail. I stole myself out of every good job since high school. And I never got anywhere because you blew me so full of hot air, I could never stand taking orders from anybody. That's whose fault it is. I had to be boss big shot in 2 weeks. And I'm through with it. I ran down 11 flights of stairs with a pen in my hand today. And I stopped. You hear me? And around that office building, in the middle of it, I saw the things I love in the world. The food, the work, and the time to smoke. And then I looked at the pen. And I said to myself, what the hell am I grabbing this for? Why am I trying to become someone I don't want to be? Why? No. What am I doing in an office making a contemptuous, begging fool of myself when what I want is out there, waiting for me the minute I say I know who I am? Why can't I say that, Willie? Pop, I'm a dime a dozen, and so are you. I am no leader of men, and neither are you, Willie. You were never anything but a hard-working drummer who landed in the ash can, just like the rest of them. I'm $1 an hour. Do you gather my meaning? I'm not bringing them. I'm not bringing them home. Bob, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. Can't you understand that? There's no spite in it anymore. I'm just what I am. That's all. Will you let go of me, for Christ's sake? Will you take that phony dream and burn it before something happens?
Wow, that was just amazing. Thank you all so much, every single participant.
Okay, with that, we have come to the end of our first event, Serpentine Soliloquies. But now, before we proceed on to our next event, we have a short word from our judge, Mr. Samir.
Just as a general sort of comment, overall, in my eyes, everyone who has participated is a winner. And I mean that very sincerely. It's not easy to come up, perform, put on a monologue for somebody who might be, at quite a distance. So I really appreciate the effort that has gone into it. There have been some absolutely standout performances. There was some maybe where some of the participants might have been looking slightly away or might not have necessarily been in full flow. So that's also been noted. But overall, the quality was quite impressive. And if this is the quality of your student body that's involved in dramatics and theater, that's absolutely wonderful. And I think you have a lot to be proud of. I would say in specifics, I'm not going to highlight anybody specifically, but there were a few, I guess, there were quite a few, really good, strong performances in terms of voice intonation, in terms of physicality, in terms of setting an overall context, and I would say very good camera presence, knowing how to emote in front of a camera. So I've made a note of that in the markings that I've submitted.
Just make sure to support your performers through the live.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stewart. And now with that, this is our end of the Serpentine Soliloquy performance. Again, thank you so much to all the participants. You all have done very well.
Now for our next event, William Shakespeare. In this event, all our participants are challenged to adapt to Shakespeare.
Oh, wait. Maybe Shakespeare scripts to modern day in creative ways?
Okay, please don't say that. Anyways, please support our participants and please vote. Please, the voting link is in the live chat.
Without further ado, let's introduce our first team as they perform their adaptations of A Midsummer's Night Dream. And our second team
will be enacting a scene from As You Like It.
What's going on, Rosalind? Cupid, have mercy. You won't utter a single word?
I don't even have one to throw at a dog.
Is all of this about your father?
No. Some of it is about my child's father. Oh, this working day. World is full of thorns.
Come on, wrestle with your affections. Take control of your feelings.
But they're siding with a better wrestler than myself.
Is it possible that you could have fallen in love with Orlando, Sir Rowland's youngest son, just suddenly?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Does that necessarily mean you should love his son? By that kind of logic, I should hate Orlando, since my father hates his father. But I don't hate Orlando.
Oh, no. Please don't hate him. For my sake, at least. Oh, here comes the Duke.
Oh dear, smoke is coming out of his eyes.
Madam, hurry as fast as you can. Get out of my court.
Me, uncle?
You niece, in 10 days' time, if you're found within 20 miles of the court, you will die for it.
I do beseech your grace. Tell me what crime I've committed. If I know of my own thoughts and desires and I'm not dreaming of crazy, which I'm sure I'm not, then dear uncle, I've never had so much as half-informed thought that would have offended you.
I don't trust you. That's more than enough.
But your mistress alone cannot make me a traitor. On what basis do you suspect me?
You are your father's daughter. That's sufficient.
I was his daughter when your highness took my father's dukedom. I was his daughter when you banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. But even if it was inherited from our family, what does it have to do with me? My father wasn't a traitor. So please, my lord, don't assume that I'm treacherous just because I'm poor with no titles to my name.
Dear master, listen to me.
Hey, Celia, we kept her here for your sake. Otherwise, she would have been banished with her father.
If she's a traitor, why then? So am I. We have always slept together, woken up together, learned, played and eaten together. Wherever we went together, and that's inseparable.
She's too devious for thee. Her smoothness, her silence, and her patient suffering appeal to the people. They pity her. You're a fool. She's robbing you of the attention you deserve. You will seem even more brighter and more virtuous when she's out of the picture. So be silent. The sentence that I have passed on her is firm and irrevocable. She is banished.
Then lay that sentence on me too, my lord, for I cannot live without her.
You're a fool. You niece, prepare to leave. If you outstay the time, upon my honor, in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind. What will you do? Where will you go? Do you want to exchange fathers? I'll give you mine. I insist. Don't be more distressed than I am.
Oh, gosh.
Thou hast not, cousin, please. Be cheerful. Don't you realize the Duke has also banished me, his daughter?
He hath not.
He hath not? Well, then, you don't have the affection that would teach you that you and I are one. Will we be separated? Should we part, sweet girl? No. Let my father find another heir. So help me plan how we will escape, where we will go and what we will take with us. Don't even try to take this all upon yourself. Bearing your grief alone and leaving me out, I swear by the heavens, which have grown pale in sympathy with us, I am going with you, whatever you say.
Why? Whither shall we go?
To seek your father in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us, two young, innocent women, to travel forth so far? Beauty attracts thugs and thieves even more than gold.
I'll put on some poor and ragged clothes and smudge my face with dirt. You do the same, and we'll be able to travel without attracting any attacker's attention.
Wouldn't it be better, since I'm unusually tall for a woman, to dress myself like a man? I'll wear a big sword in my belt, carry a boar spear in my hand, and hide all my womanish fear in my heart. We'll maintain a swaggerish warrior look like so many cowardly men, whose manner has nothing to do with what they're feeling inside.
Shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I take no lesser than the name of Joey's own servant. So call me Ganymede. And what will thou be called?
Something that refers to my current state. No longer Celia, but Alina. We'll devise the best time and the safest route to avoid being found out by my father's guards, whom he'll send out as soon as he discovers I've gone. Now we go contentedly to freedom, not banishment.
We will never be forgotten, 'cause we are the ones, we are the ones.
Sometimes we make you laugh. Sometimes we make you cry. We make you feel inspired, excited, amazed. Empowered. Alive. Curiosity propels Sony forward. Extraordinary entertainment that moves people's hearts. Groundbreaking electronics that connect people to people. Mobility. Medical. And financial services that support people. We honor our past and build for the future. We collaborate with people around the globe to synthesize diverse points of view into a sustainable vision. We harness technology to transform and enrich lives. Sony's purpose: fill the world with emotion through the power of creativity and technology. We are Sony.
Why do you think that I'm making fun of you when I tell you that I love you? People don't cry when they are mocking someone. Mockery and fun never comes in tear. How can it seem like that I'm making fun of you when my tears prove that I'm sincere?
You get trickier and trickier. When truth kills truth, they must both be false. These vows are Hermia's. Will you abandon her?
I had no judgment when I swore to her.
And I don't believe you thinking clearly now, as you break those promises.
Demetrius loves her, not you.
Oh, Helena, goddess, nymph, perfect divine. To what shall I compare your eyes? Crystals isn't as clear as they are. Oh, let me kiss this princess of pure love, this scene of bliss.
Oh dear God, I see you all are bent to set against me for your amusement. Can you not hate me as I know you do? Must you get together to mock me too?
Lysander, keep your Hermia. I will not. If I ever did love her, all that love is now gone. My love for her was a temporary stay. Now, my heart has home returned to Helene to forever remain that way.
Helene, it is not so.
Let Helene and I be one. See, here comes the woman you love.
This loud noise, but while Lysander is so different from the rest of the boys. I thank my eyes that brought me to you. Why did you leave me alone at the counter though?
Why should I stay when love tells you to go?
What love could take Lysander away from my side?
My love, that would not let me bide. I had to hurry to her, to beautiful Helena, who brightens the room better than all the sparkling lights.
You can't mean what you're saying. It cannot be.
So she's in on this too. Now I perceive that you've gotten together, all three of you, to fashion this cruel trick in spite of me. Hurtful Hermia, you ungrateful girl. This is sickly. Have you conspired with these two to bait me with this foul mockery?
I am amazed at your passionate words, but I scorn you not. It seems that you scorn me.
Have you not said Lysander as an insult to follow me and praise my eyes and face, and make your other love Demetrius, who even now but did spurn me with his foot, to call me goddess, rare, divine, precious, celestial, wherefore speaks he this to her he pays?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Oh, fine. Go ahead. Keep up your little game. Pretend to be sympathetic, but then make faces at me when I turn my back, and nudge at each other, and wink. You're doing so good at this trick that someone should write a book about it. If you had any pity or manners, you wouldn't pretend to fight over me like this. But goodbye. It's partly my own fault, because I followed you here. Everything will soon be solved by death or by absence.
Stay, Helena. Listen to me. My love, my life, my soul. Beautiful Helena.
That's a good one.
Honey, do not scorn her like that.
I say, I love you more than he can do.
If that's what you say, have a rap battle with me.
Okay, man, you're on.
Lysander, where are you going with all this?
Get away, you moron.
Are you joking?
Of course he is, and so are you.
Demetrius, I'll keep up my word with you.
You are doing a lot for the woman who has nothing to do with you. Leave Hermia alone, and don't dare speak of her, Helena.
Hermia is not holding me anymore. Follow me if you have the guts to face me in a showdown. It will be settled by a rap battle, and we'll see who wins Helena's heart.
Boom, boom, chick, chack.
Step down, everybody. I am Lysander. My love is up there. His love is down under. I love you so, Helena. I hope you understand. I even booked a band, and I'm asking for your hand.
A.
Why are you looking at Demetrius? He's not a real man. First Helena, then Hermia, then Helena again. And wait a minute, didn't he just kick you with the shoe? My feelings are so true, and I hope I could prove it to you.
Lysander, it's my turn now. Show them other brothers how it's done. Take a bow, love Helena, and I won, or you left the second prize. And you might say that you're not jealous, but I see it in your eyes. You're just a sore loser who's better at being a snoozer. You're just no good and should go back at being a boozer.
Shut up, you both. Out you go. All this fighting is because of you. So stay where you are.
I will not trust you. I can no longer stick around here. You might be a better fighter than I am, but my legs are longer and I can run away faster.
I just can't believe any of this. I don't know what to say.
Wow, that was brilliant. Before we go any further, we would like to have Mr. Samir Stewart say a few words.
I must say, I've never quite seen plays like As You Like It quite interpreted the way they were in all these various situations, in all these various acts that the students have put together. Really special, really interesting, really different. You know, just to have students at different locations recording themselves and putting it together in a collage, quite a feat in of itself. And I must say, technically, that's very, very impressive. Just in terms of a general comment in terms of overall flow and content, I felt the difference between the individual section as well as the group section was, you know, here some of the actors, I think, maybe felt that they needed to sound Shakespearean. And I don't think that was quite necessary. I think you could have just been perhaps even a little bit more normal as you were or you might have been in the individual performances. Nonetheless, it doesn't take away from your performance. It's just a comment for you to keep in mind for the future. It doesn't necessarily mean that when you're doing Shakespeare and you're doing it as a sort of spoof or you're doing it in a different way, you don't necessarily have to sound quite like it. It can be just in the flow. And I think a couple of teams did achieve that quite well. So anyways, very well done, very creative, and may the best team win.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stewart, for your role in this segment. Now, we shall move on to our sponsorship for a small ad break where we shall thank our sponsors as well. Before that, I would just like to say polling is still on. Please cast your votes. We shall be announcing our results after the ad break.
We will never be forgotten, 'cause we are the ones, we are the ones.
Sometimes we make you laugh. Sometimes we make you cry. We make you feel inspired, excited, amazed. Empowered. Alive. Curiosity propels Sony forward. Extraordinary entertainment that moves people's hearts. Groundbreaking electronics that connect people to people. Mobility. Medical. And financial services that support people. We honor our past and build for the future. We collaborate with people around the globe to synthesize diverse points of view into a sustainable vision. We harness technology to transform and enrich lives. Sony's purpose: fill the world with emotion through the power of creativity and technology. We are Sony.
Thank you all, every participant, irregardless of whether you won or you lost or what your votes were. It was amazing to see you, and I'm pretty sure all our audience members would agree too. Now our voting results have come in. Looks like the most popular entry for Serpentine Soliloquy is Govind Srihari from NPS INR.
Good job, Govind.
And for the William Shakespeare, it was the team from the JPIS school.
Congrats, JPIS. Okay guys, so we are very excited to announce the winner for this event, which we shall be doing in our closing ceremony on 14th August on this very VIVUM YouTube channel. So please stay tuned.
On the same link, as we will come back after a short break with our next segment, Hysterical.
Thank you guys for watching.
Our next event is VIVUM's very own stand-up comedy showcase, Hysterical. Drawing inspiration from classic shows like Saturday Night Live and Comicstan, this VIVUM event has a lineup of the 3 best entries from all the participants this year, and that's some tough competition.
We have also officially opened the polls for the most popular hysterical finalist. The polls will be running for 30 minutes and the link is in the chat, so make sure to go and support your school.
Also, registrations are still open for a very special event by Mr. Shankar Chagani at 7 p.m. So make sure to register now if you haven't already. Moving on, our first act covers it all from religion to gym politics.
From NPS Mysore, please welcome Jacob George.
Hello, my name is Jacob George. Man, I've got to start things off by saying you guys are doing a much better job than Ignite did. I mean, that's not saying much, but it is what it is. The past 2 years have been incredibly eventful, which is precisely the reason that I'm not going to talk about them. Now, let's move on into some less heavy topics this time around, shall we? So, I'm going to read out a newspaper headline for you guys. Lucknow woman slaps cab driver 22 times in the presence of police. First things first. I want to congratulate the student, presumably from Greenwood High, who saw this video and the first thing that came to their mind was to sit and count the number of slaps that this feminist icon decided to deal out. Now. I don't want to sound like a sexist jerk, which is why I want to celebrate the 3 richest women in the world. Françoise Myers, who is the heiress of L'Oreal. Alice Walton, who has led countless Walmart initiatives and has earned billions of dollars for herself and the company. And then Mackenzie Scott, who divorced Jeff Bezos. The concept of divorce settlements is like that one really shitty partner you had in group projects, where you and 3 other sensible people got together along with this one great soul, whose contribution started with his name and then ended with his surname. Okay. Admittedly, I think we've started off the bat with some really heavy topics. Let's just move on into some feel-good jokes, some feel-good topics, shall we? I think sports is overrated. Athletes are just professional children. For example, let's talk about the Olympics, okay? Let's just dumb down some base concepts behind a lot of Olympic sports and look at them for what they actually are. Okay, let's talk about the javelin throw. Take long stick and throw it very far. Long jump. Jump very far. And shot put. Throwing big ball very far. And now my favorite sport it is the 100-meter dash. Running short distance very fast. I think India is doing pretty well for itself in the Olympics this time around. We got a few medals coming home. Speaking of things that are coming home. Sorry England fans. Sorry about that one. While we're on the topic of sports, I used to be really obese for the longest time. And I finally decided to hit the gym last year. And I'd say I've gotten in pretty good shape. But like there are a lot of observations you make along the way. For example, for the first couple of months you're at gym, you really can't tell people you go to the gym because you still look as bad as you did when you first started. But in my experience, there are a lot of really, really weird characters you get to see at the gym. Like the gym that I go to, there are really only 2 kinds of people. Okay, there's the one kind of person who works out, and the second, the people who look really photogenic. Okay, unfortunately, I fall into the first category of people. You know how in every gym there's like this really large mirror. In my personal opinion, I truly believe that more than any form of discrimination this modern world has to offer, I honestly truly believe that that mirror is the truest form of social hierarchy that exists in this world. Okay? You can tell a person's self-confidence, their self-esteem by their proximity to the mirror. The further you are, the lower you rank in that gym caste system. Now, a little more about myself. Both my parents, I think, they're really and fairly religious. Okay? And I'm talking about like the kind of people who go to church every Sunday in their best formal attire to sit and attend mass. Now, I think here's a concept that COVID has really brought changes into. And 2 words that should never be said in the same sentence. Online, church. Okay? Which is quite literally YouTube live stream church. Okay? So now with churches live streaming masses and like choirs, attending said online mass has become more like searching for a podcast on Spotify. You know, with everything in between the choir sessions, like the actual worship part, becoming like those annoying ad breaks. So, like the concept of God, I think, is something that's really confused me. Like, every hardcore believer of God will swear by the fact that God grants the wishes of every believer in him. You have to realize how flawed a concept this is, you know. Like, here's how I view the conversation would go down between God and said believer. God, I have a request to make. Yes, my child. Please burn down my entire school before my math exam. Do you believe in me, my child? Yes, God. Then okay. You realize, you see what I'm trying to say here? Another really weird concept to me is like the concept of not eating foods on certain days because of fear of divine consequence. Like, I wonder what God is sitting and keeping the weekly schedules of every believer in front of him like, Rahul has eaten meat on a Tuesday. He will burn in hell. Like, okay, anyways, that's been my time. I'm Jacob George, and I'll see you all on the podium. fees coming home wouldn't be too bad.
Get out of my house, Jacob. That's my trophy.
Thank you, Jacob. That really made us crack up. You know what I hate, Krisha? Traveling. It's the absolute worst.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, my sister always throws hissy fits during road trips.
Yeah, traveling makes wherever you're headed seem so much better, even better than it actually is, especially if it's Coimbatore.
Coimbatore? That was oddly specific.
Well, our next act by Vagish Shivaramakrishnan from Malya Aditi presents his take on traveling to Coimbatore.
Okay. I'm super excited to tell you guys about Coimbatore. Now, not a lot of people would have heard about Coimbatore, but I was born there, and it's a city in the middle of Tamil Nadu. Now, you might not have heard of Coimbatore, but you've definitely heard of Tamil Nadu, right? Land of idli, vada, masala pongal, dosa, and my personal favorite, Rajnikant. Now, you see, Ralph Waldo Emerson once famously said, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, which is very philosophical and deep, but he was right in this case. You see, there are 4 ways to get to Coimbatore. You can go by plane, you can go by train, God forbid, you can go by bus, or you can go by car. And I'm going to go through them in order. You see, going by plane, it's the most fancy, the most prim, the most proper. You go to the airport, it's all air conditioned, all the gates are cute and neat. It's all fancy, right? Everyone likes it, it's perfect. Everyone likes it but me. You see, I kind of had this revelation. You know how planes, they fly? Yeah, well, it turns out I'm afraid of heights. Yeah. So, and the thing is, Coimbatore used to be a smaller airport. So, we'd never get those fancy jet engine planes that just go shwee. We'd get those propeller planes. And they go cut, right? So the plane is flying through the air. And it's going thug, 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 thug. And my heartbeat is going thug, 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 thug. It's the most scary experience on the planet, right? In total, I'd probably rate a plane like a 6 on 10. And the only reason it's getting 6 points is because I'm obsessed with cup noodles. And they have the best cup noodles in a plane. It's just so good, right? Now, on to the train. Now, a train is interesting because there are 2 things you need to know about the Indian Railways. One is that trains, by their very nature, are noisy. And 2, most trains to Coimbatore depart around night time. So it's like a nighttime train. Now, the issue with that, and the third thing you need to know, is that I usually poop at night time. You know, I do the excrement, leaving the, you know what I mean, right? So, if you put 2 and 2 together, you've now realized that I must now poop on this train. And the thing about trains is the toilets are shaped like this, okay? Now, this shape may look unextraordinary, right? But you know what else is shaped like this conical funnel? Trumpets. And you know why they're shaped like conical funnels? The reason is because this shape amplifies noise. And trains make a lot of noise. And you realize that now this being the toilet, this is the part you now have to sit on. So, long story short, if you're a late night pooper, get ready for Beethoven's 5th Symphony playing at max volume straight up your bum, because there is no other way to poop on a train. It is so bad. And another side note about trains is I am pretty convinced that the blankets they give you on trains are legally considered doormats, because there is no other classification I could properly give to those abominations to clothing. I'd probably give a train a rating of 4 on 10. Only because I really like the chai wala that seems chai teacher. Very fun dude, has some of the best stories you'll ever hear. Now, moving on to buses. Buses are my favorite because you see they depart at around 1 a.m. which is, as you now know, after my poo-poo time. So, you get on the bus and then you just reach Coimbatore. You sleep, you wake up, you're at Coimbatore. It's like teleportation. It's magic, it's beautiful, I love it, no complaints. But on to cars. Cars is a little different because there's 2 ways to go by car. You can go with Google Maps or you can go without Google Maps. And it gets a little janky here. Now you see, with Google Maps, it's interesting because in Bangalore, you have all these fancy street names. You have Cubbon Park, you have MG Road, you have 100 Feet Road. In Coimbatore, you have Sri Ramanarayana Kuppaswamy Layout. You have Sri New Tilai Nagar. You have all these very Indianized names. And for the longest time, Google Maps didn't have an Indian accent. So the absolute highlight of this whole trip was just listening to this Americanized voice say, turn left at Sri New Kuppaswamy Ramanarayana Layout. Then proceed to the roundabout at New Thailand Nagar. It was the best feeling, you know, and we'd always try to correct it, but obviously the remote wasn't listening, so it was just very fun. But if you go without Google Maps, it's a fully different experience. Because you see, the thing is, if you go without Google Maps, you have to ask for directions. In which they'll say, okay, turn left at Lakshmi Canteen. The issue with that is that on every single street in Coimbatore, there are 5 Lakshmi Canteens, one after the other, and after each one is a left. So then you'll ask them again, okay, Lakshmi Canteen left, where do I turn right? So they say, okay, turn right at Annapurneshwari Tailors. But then you realize that every left from the Lakshmi Canteen is another right from Annapurneshwari Tailors, and the fact of the matter is, every single block in Coimbatore is the exact same block, copy-pasted every single time. So there is no layout, no organization, and just utter confusion. Not to mention the fact that because it wasn't properly named, all the roads have the exact same name. So they say, okay, turn right at Ramalingeshwaram Road. There is 3 Ramalingeshwaram roads connecting to this main road down the middle. It is so confusing, and it's yet the most fun I've ever had on a road trip.
Wow, Vikesh, that truly was hysterical. Just a note, guys, the school that Jacob George was from was not NPS Mysore, he was from NPS HSR. So, Krisha, how do your board exams go, considering you didn't even write them?
Let's not talk about that.
Well, someone who does want to talk about it is Anmol Bhora from Shishivan School of Mumbai.
ये स्कैम की शुरुआत हुई 9th स्टैंडर्ड में। हमारे स्कूल ने हमारे और हमारे माता पिता के साथ एक छोटा सा मजाक किया। अब हमें बताया गया कि या तो साइंस लो या तो कॉमर्स, अब बीच का बंदर कोई नहीं। तो आर्ट्स और इकोनॉमिक्स वालों की तो वैसे ही लग गई। अब हमने लिया साइंस, गधे जो ठहरे। खैर, आते हैं आज के मेन मुद्दे पर, क्लास 10। अब ये शब्द सुन के मेरे दिमाग में तो सिर्फ एक ही आवाज गूंजती है, अपने पड़ोस वाली आंटी की। अब बंदा बाहर वॉक कर रहा है तो बीच में आंटी चिल्लाएगी, बेटा पढ़ ले, इस साल तो 10th है ना। मेरे बेटे को देख, किंडरगार्टन में भी टॉप किया है, 99.98%। अब ये बेइज्जती अगर काफी ना हो तो आंटी मुंह में मिठाई भी ठूस देती है। अब इंग्लिश लिटरेचर में हमको है शेक्सपियर, सत्यानाश। अब वो बंदे ने क्या खा पी कर किताब लिखी है वही समझ में नहीं आता। जो स्टोरी के शुरुआत में लिखता है, अंत में जाते जाते वही भूल जाता है। एक टपली मारो तो एक्ट 1 सीन 3, दूसरी टपली मारो तो एक्ट 3 सीन 1। अब ज्योग्राफी जो मेरा फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट है उस पर आते हैं। अब ईवीएस की कमी पूरी कर रहे हैं लोग। नहीं, हम इंसान थोड़ी है, नींबू है, निचोड़ते जाओ, छोड़ो मत हमको। अब चैप्टर और वो सब तो ठीक है, जान का दुश्मन है टोपोग्राफी। अब मेरे को बताओ, मेरे घर में चोरी हुई तो मैं राजस्थान के किसी कोने में पड़े पमेरा की पुलिस स्टेशन में एफआईआर लिखाऊंगा कि अपने गली के थाने में। और मुझे क्या करना है कि वहां के लोगों को कब, कैसे और कितना पानी मिलता है। अब मैं वहां जाके नल तो लगा नहीं सकता। अब मैथ्स है दूसरा फ्रॉड। हमको प्यार से बता तो दिया कि या तो साइंस लो या तो कॉमर्स, पर नहीं, जिंदगी उतनी आसान थोड़ी है। हमको बोलता है कॉमर्स भी पढ़ लो। नहीं, ठीक बात है, कभी अगर मैं रेस्टोरेंट में पनीर कोफ्ता खा के बैठा और बिल भर रहा हूँ, कहीं कंप्यूटर ने जीएसटी गलत ना कैलकुलेट कर लिया हो, फिर भैया को बताना पड़ेगा कि भैया टीचर के मेथड से तो 18.7 आ रहा है, आपने 18.8 लगाया, ये तो गलत बात है। अब वेटर खुद दया खा के 10 रुपए देके जाएगा हाथ में। अब हिस्ट्री सिविक्स के बारे में बात करने से पहले मैं कांग्रेस वालों से माफी मांगना चाहूंगा। अब टेक्स्ट बुक में ऑथर्स नेम को छोड़ के हर जगह बस एक ही नाम दिखेगा। नहीं देखना तो भी एक ही नाम दिखेगा, महात्मा गांधी। अब समझो मैं उस ऑथर से कभी मिला तो हमारा कॉन्वर्सेशन कुछ इस प्रकार होगा। अब मैं पूछता हूँ, भारत को आजादी किसने दिलाई? ऑथर बोलता है मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी। अब मैं बोलता हूँ कि अच्छा गांधी जी की मदद किसने की आजादी दिलाने में, तो अगर बोलता है MK गांधी, तो बोला ठीक है भाई अलग लोग होंगे। बोला अगला सवाल, सबसे पहले टूथपेस्ट में नमक किसने डाला, तो ऑथर बोलता है महात्मा गांधी। मैं बोला 1 मिनट, ठीक है। फादर ऑफ नेशन कौन है, तो ऑथर बोलता है गांधी जी। मैं बोला मदर ऑफ नेशन कौन है, तो बोलता है अब अंत में आते हैं एग्जाम्स के ऊपर। अब हमारी जो सीनियर है उनकी वैसी ही वाट लग गई उनकी वाट लग गई क्योंकि बोर्ड ने पहले बोला कि एग्जाम से फिर सिलेबस कट करते गए और फिर एंड में एग्जाम्स ही नहीं है। अब शुरुआत में 9th में तो बच्चों ने फुल नेटफ्लिक्स एंड चिल मोड ऑन रखा था भाई, 10th में फुल सीरियस। अब 10th में आए बहुत थाट बाट से शुरुआत की। अब टीचर लोग भी बोल रही थी बोर्ड एग्जाम्स। अब जून से सितंबर के बीच में बोर्ड ने सोचा चलो एक मजाक किया जाए, उन्होंने सिलेबस कट कर दिया। तो टीचर बोली कि सिलेबस कट हुआ है पर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स है। अब बोर्ड बोला ठीक है थोड़ा और बढ़ाते हैं, तो अक्टूबर से दिसंबर में उन्होंने और सिलेबस रिड्यूस किया। तो टीचर बोलती है सिलेबस और कट हुआ है पर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स। तो बच्चे बोलते हैं ठीक है भाई, और पढ़ने लगे जी जान से। मार्च में एग्जाम है, शायद पढ़ रहे थे पता नहीं। तो फिर बोर्ड अलग ही लेवल पे पहुंच जाता है, बोलता है कि बोर्ड एग्जाम्स ही कैंसल्ड है। तो जिन्होंने आधी खबर पढ़ी वो तो गए पार्टी करने, जिन्होंने पूरी पढ़ी वो डिप्रेशन में चले गए, क्योंकि आगे लिखा था कि 10th की परसेंटेज 9th के मार्क्स पे निकलेगी। और टीचर्स का अलग ही चल रहा था कि बोर्ड एग्जाम तो कैंसल्ड है पर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Anmol, for that incredible piece. And for those of you who haven't, go register for Mr. Shankar Chagani's performance right now. It's only 100 rupees, and he's performed in over 250 cities. He's performed over 250 times in 15 cities, and he's performing never seen before exclusive content. Thank you so much to all our participants, regardless of the results. We really enjoyed getting a glimpse into all of your poisonalities.
I think that's enough, Neha. Thank you to our engaged audience members for voting and cheering our finalists on.
We'd like to give a special mention to Jacob George for being the most hysterical, popular performer.
For those of you who bought tickets, please join the Zoom event now for an exclusive set by Comic Stan's very own Shankar Chagani at 7. The email with the link to join has already been sent to you.
Join us for our closing ceremony on August 14th to find out who the winner of Hysterical 2021 is, against all odds.